Wow, thanks for joining us. This is Live with Miami's Community News, and our guest today is Fanny Navarro, who's with Miami-Dade County. You're the Special Projects Administrator, new position sort of for you?
Yes, well, I always share the good news of parks, and I want to thank you for always having us here on midday Mondays with Miami-Dade Parks.
It's my pleasure, and it actually is a wonderful thing because you're so energetic and so positive. So let's talk about August is National Wellness Month. So what does that mean to us and to the county?
Well, to the county and, of course, to your parks department, visiting local parks and trails, swimming pools, taking a hike on our trails. Miami-Dade Parks really focuses on the health and wellness of our community. And you know what, Michael? Wellness means something different to a lot of us. So this month, and actually every month of the year, health and wellness is a priority. But Miami-Dade County Parks in August really celebrates the National Wellness Month.
And that's every August.
Every August.
So this particular August, given COVID is here, it's something special. So tell us what you're doing to make sure when people come out that they can feel confident about moving around on the parks.
Well, as you know, our county campaign is we have the best shot when we get our vaccination shot. But if you visit a Miami-Dade County Parks, there are great things that we continue to do to make sure that you stay safe. Number one, parks already allow for out open air activities at your choice, at your leisure, but also we have programs that we do as well. Now, when it comes to COVID, we continue to follow the CDC guidelines. We encourage social distancing, disinfecting our hand sanitizer, wear your mask, especially in indoor county facilities. That's very important as well. And then, of course, that opportunity to really know yourself with the wellness of your body, what your body can do, how stringent the activities can be. And Miami-Dade Parks offers that array of activities, making sure that you stay safe outdoors.
So a couple things I want to let people know. There's a piece of glass here between us. Say hello. All right. So the image that I have right now is when I was walking with my daughter, who's now an adult, all right, just holding her hand in a park, and it was great. So can people go to the parks and just not be involved in a group activity and just wander?
Absolutely. That's the beauty of our Miami-Dade County Parks. We're open sunrise to sunset. And of course, you have paved trails, nature trails. You have other activities as well. We have our open spaces, which are great green fields that you could also either do activities with your household or within our partners that are also following the CDC guidelines.
So, people I know can go to your website and find out all about the parks, and there's over 200 parks in Miami-Dade County.
278 parks and counting.
That is amazing.
We are the second parks department, the second largest parks department in the nation.
No kidding.
Yes.
And we know all the way from Highland Oaks, is that what it is? Reynolds Park, all the way down to Homestead.
Yep. Actually, our border starts at Ives Estate Park, and it heads all the way down south to our Homestead Bayfront Park in Marina.
I know I mentioned this to you before. When I was a child, we used to go to Reynolds Park all the time. And it was so much fun, and fishing and seeing the ducks. And if I remember right, canoeing, if I remember right.
They do. They have a waterway there. And then the beautiful live oak canopy of trees that are there are just incredible.
So during this time, the people are getting ready to go back to school, all right? But when school gets back in a week or two or three, all right, it'll be September, all right? So what are some of the activities that are going to happen for the last 2 weeks here in August, and how it's going to shift in September and October?
So our nature-based camps through Eco Adventures and Daring Estate are still taking place. So summer camp, this is the last week of summer camp, and we're truly enjoying those summer adventures. And our recreation team, our health and fitness parks unit, are gearing up for after-school programming. And I'm going to bring you additional details about how you could plan your school year with Miami-Dade Parks with after-school care.
And one of the things people sometimes forget is that Zoo Miami is one of the parks of Miami-Dade County.
It definitely is.
And certainly it is a highlight for a lot of people, myself included, to see those animals and how well they're taken care of. And sometimes people think that these animals are just on display, all right? there's a whole other stuff that goes on.
There is, I can
Share
tell
with us.
you, they have incredible conservation initiatives for animals, not only internationally, but locally as well. Zoo Miami does have a conservation and research center. So it's a group of specialists who look at the populations not only in captivity, but out in the wild as well. And Zoo Miami is, one of the top 10 zoos in the nation, and it's here in our backyard, part of the Miami-Dade County Parks Department, and they are saving things big and gray and small and mighty.
Wow, I see you've been through that before. So when we look at it, so the people that work there, they have this bigger mission in mind, which is how do we make sure this animal is here in 10 years and 20 and 30 and 50 years from now. And occasionally we get to see some of that behind the scenes work that we see that the zoo does to keep those animals healthy. Sometimes we'll see if the dental work is being done on those big tigers, which is really crazy. Right?
Yeah, conservation and education is so critical to the work that zoos and aquariums do across the world. And one of the great things that Zoo Miami really focuses on is the local habitat. I mean, their mission Everglades really focusing on not only the animals that live in the Everglades, but the habitat. And Zoo Miami does an excellent job looking not only at the animal, but looking at the habitat that they live in those surrounding areas, and as well as the people around those areas. We've realized early on, zoos and aquariums, that in order to save the species, we also have to save the habitats.
And you bring up a really good point. It's that some folks think, well, you can just throw some food in there in whatever habitat that you want. That's not the case at all.
It's not at all. You really have to understand the micro species, the mega predators, the flora and fauna, the plant life that's there as well. And then the impacts of the humans is also critical as well.
Yes, I think I mentioned you a few months ago. I'd moved some Areca palm trees, and I see this snake. He's on the ground, and it looked like it was fake. And I recognized it as a boa, but it was really small, maybe about this big. And it was an African sand boa, if I remember right, or Kenya. And I looked at it, I said, wow, it looks full grown, all right? And he's not moving. And then when I found out what it was, I realized that he was living underneath the sand where these trees were, and we had moved out these trees, and all of a sudden he was there. So understanding conservation, I brought it over to somebody that happens to raise tortoises. So I knew that it was a conservation issue. Some people think automatically if you see a snake, extinguish it. That's common.
Very common.
And when I ask people, why did you do that? Well, I thought it was poisonous. I go, well, first of all, you didn't need to be anywhere near it. That's for starters. Second, that's pretty not completely rare, but it's infrequent down here for the average person to come across a poisonous snake, or venomous snake, as I've been told.
And nowadays with technology, I mean, there's so many wonderful resources out there. One of the ones that Eco Adventures uses, in fact, heading into September, we're going to go into what's called the BioBlitz, and our main app to identify wildlife, scats, identify plants is the iNaturalist app, which is a very simple app that you could download. You take a picture from the distance. It is monitored by scientists, and they're looking at the biodiversity of the area.
You take a picture of it with this app, and then somebody out there who's going to say, oh, that's such and such.
They will identify it for you. They will also upload information for you as well. And I'm talking about either a live animal or an animal scat, animal poop, animal tracks. This is such an incredible app that you could download. It's at your fingertips. You're adding to scientific data when it comes to biodiversity, and you don't have to get that close to the animal.
And just think how smart somebody might think you are. My son used to do that. So what do you think about this? And I'd be talking to him. I said, how do you know that? He said, this is how I know that.
Information at your fingertips, but we also have great resources. You could always call up Zoo Miami for information, Miami Eco Adventures, the Deering Estate, our partners. We really work together to really emphasize that we all need to be conservation stewards of our land and our habitats.
Is there an app for plants as well?
There are. In fact, iNaturalist combines both wildlife, animal tracks, and So I highly recommend iNaturalist.
Wow, that's amazing. So instead of saying, the green one with flowers on it,
You know that
I
one?
do that all the time. Yeah, what does it look like? It looks like a bush. So,
Exactly. You could identify it, and then you are adding to scientific data, which is important.
let's talk about Deering Estate. What's going on there, and what does the fall look like for activities there?
So, of course, Steering Estates really connects us to culture preservation of our beautiful historic sites and, of course, our natural resources as well. So, Deering Estate is ramping up for a great fall. But before we get there, they have a wonderful photography class that's taking place as well. And you talk about a scenic park that allows you to either see the sunset or the sun rise, and actually they welcome visitors to come in and be part of their photography class. And let me find that for you, because I know that's on here, because it's one of my favorites that's taken place, I believe, this month. Bear with me, Michael, because I want to share the date. Here we go. You could bring your camera, your tripod, water, of course, your bug spray. The space is limited. You have to buy your ticket online, and that is taking place on August 22nd.
With me, she doesn't even.
And that is a photography sunrise adventure at the Deering Estate.
So one of the things about taking pictures and seizing that opportunity of the moment, you never know when that great shot's going to be. But as Ron McGill from the zoo has said repeatedly, sitting right here, people ask him, how do you get the great shot? He says, I take a lot of pictures, because you never know when it's going to be the one. And photographs have the ability to take us back, all right, to that moment and to this bigger picture of the glory of the world and how this all works together. Somehow it's there when you watch the sun come up in the morning, and it's really an amazing thing. I did want to do a shout out to Earl Stewart, who does a morning show called, he does the International Sunrise Club every morning, Jupiter Beach. He's out there, Facebook Live, and he's filming.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And you watch the sunrise come up. Earl Stewart, International Sunrise Club. And one of the things he talks about, which I hope you do in a second, when he comes across these turtles that are there all the time, he shows the tracks and he shows the mama turtle. And so tell us about the turtles and how they're protected.
Yeah, so it's interesting how you could always connect wildlife, right? Sometimes when you're out there trying to take these sunrise photos, you might get a beautiful silhouette of a heron that just really highlights that interconnectivity of our beautiful habitats that we have here in Miami-Dade County. And you mentioned the sea turtles. Of course, we're currently in season, but we've already passed what's called the nesting season. We are now heading into the sea turtle hatching season. So if you go out to the beaches, you will see that the turtle nests are marked with stakes. There is some educational information there, but there is a reminder that I want to share. And if Tommy could help me out, we're going to go ahead and show you just a small clip to remind you about the lighting situation during this time of sea turtle hatching. A short little clip just to remind you how important lighting is at this time, the moonlight.
Today is the first day of our lives.
And there you have it, Michael. Just a quick reminder of how important it is
Man, it's a beautiful sight out here tonight.
Yellow.
Thank you guys so much.
Oops.
Play the next video.
So, we are at that point of sea turtle season that we're heading into the hatching time. So the lights on the beach are very important, and we have to be very conscious of that. The other thing is Miami-Dade County is now offering sea turtle release programs where you could sign up, and through our sea turtle conservation team, which is led by our Miami-Dade County Parks Department, we hold the permit for sea turtle season. This is the opportunity that if they are able to release a sea turtle during one of their surveys during the morning time and notice that a sea turtle might need a little bit of a rehab, then we open that up to the public so they could be part of a sea turtle release.
So you're talking about a larger, not an infant.
No, it's actually a hatchling. So we have specialized permitted staff in our parks department who focus on and carry the permit of making sure they monitor the beach during March through October. And during hatchling season, if they notice a sea turtle in distress, they can actually hold the permit, and under special permitting, they could rehab that
The
hatchling,
little guy.
and then at night, you could schedule a sea turtle release either at Hollover Beach or at Crandon Park during a nighttime release. Now, if you sign up for these release programs, you will have an education component. So you'll get to know a little bit about the Miami-Dade County Sea Turtle Conservation Program and also what happens during the season of sea turtles. And then at 9 o'clock, you get to head down to the beach and release the sea turtle. Now, our staff will release the sea turtles, but you'll get to see that adventure from that little hatchling being set onto the beach and heading into the water.
This little turtle being released to this gigantic ocean, and it is amazing that we can assist in that process.
Yes, and it's like I mentioned, sea turtle hatchling is not guaranteed at every event. They are following the C2C guidelines, and keep in mind that there's limited quantity of tickets available, but you do have to sign up on our park link. You set up an account and you'll be able to sign up for those. Remember, we're just heading into the hatching season, so make sure to save your space.
Do you happen to know how long it takes to hatch eggs?
I don't know, but if I was to take a stab, it's about 60. Actually, I'm not going to take a stab at it.
But it's amazing. These turtles can come ashore, put them in the ground, cover them up, and with a little luck and protection, a lot of those critters are going to hatch.
They can, and there is a percentage of sea turtles that do not survive. This is something that researchers have learned. Sea turtles are endangered species, and 1% of sea turtles actually survive into adulthood. Now, keep in mind, the size of a baby sea turtle, a hatchling, is a great prey item. That's the circle of life. But with these programs like the Miami-Dade County Sea Turtle Conservation Program, with their research, their data collection, also looking at behavioral changes from humans, changing the lights of the beaches, we are trying to increase that survival rate for these sea turtles.
Some people don't understand when there's a light, what does it do to the mama turtle?
So as the short video shared, they follow the moonlight. So once they hatch, and it's called a boil. So these sea turtles all synchronize their hatching. It's called a boil because from the bottom, they come up and then they come out of the sea turtle nest. Once they see the light and they're looking for the moonlight, because the moonlight is just above the horizon of the sea, that's their directional, that's their wayfinding to the ocean. Now, if they are hatching out of this boil and they see a street light, they may confuse the street light as the moonshine and head in the opposite direction. So we definitely do not want that to happen. So right now we call what it's called a dark period of time for sea turtle lighting in a lot of the beach areas, and let them follow the moon.
Very nice. So when these guys are they're put in the ground by the mother turtle, they all hatch about the same time?
They do. That's to increase their survival rate.
Nature's
Remember
amazing.
that these are piles and piles of eggs that have to boil up to the surface. So they actually help each other.
And how far below the ground are those eggs?
So if I remember correctly, it's about 2.5, 3 feet. So
And they get out.
And they get out.
That is,
They do. It's incredible.
all right, let's talk about Pelican Harbor Marina. Why don't you tell us where that is and what fine work they do?
So Pelican Harbor Marina, we have something very special happening this month. Bear with me as I find that out there. This is up in the north area. And
Down on 79th Street?
down at 79th Street. We do have our marina there. We also have a partner that also does what's called the critical splash cleanup on kayaks and paddleboarding that takes place there as well. We also have our own park boat that also departures from there as well. There's also a beautiful island right off of that marina where we do host a lot of coastal cleanups and special natural areas cleanup at that Pelican Island.
I've seen some of the work that the county's been doing, trying to keep the bay clean. If I remember right, there was a boat that they recently hoisted out of the water. That type of thing is so significant for people that care. Say, oh yeah, underneath the top of the water, there's all the stuff that's going on. And sometimes when these boats go down, they're just there, and that's the end of it, right?
Right.
But it must cost a lot of money to be able to go locate the boat, all right, and then pay somebody to come and pick it up, and then they have to dispose of it. I guess it might ever go to the waste department, solid waste. Where are you, Frank? We want to know where the old boats go.
Where the old boats go. Yeah, but it is definitely partnership opportunities to make sure that we keep our waterways as clean as possible. And, you know, some of those sunken vessels, we need to get them out as soon as possible just to make sure that those fuels don't, continue to mess up the waterways.
Can we talk about Tropical Park?
Yes. You love Tropical Park.
I do. I drive by it all the time.
And I do have to be honest, it is one of my favorite regional parks because it's part of my neighborhood.
It's really incredible when you think of all the activities and all the people that are involved there. And recently the cultural center was open. I want to thank the commission and Senator Commissioner Javier Soto for helping that happen. But you can have individual activities. You can sit by the water over there and you can feed the ducks. I don't know if you're allowed to, but it's done all the time.
We're not feeding the ducks, Michael.
We're not feeding the ducks, okay? And don't take them home for dinner, all right? And people are there, you see me, pushing their kids. I noticed the track over there. The running track is beautiful, right?
There was a beautiful article in the Miami Herald about the Tropical Park track. In fact, it allowed Olympians to practice before the Tokyo Games.
No kidding. That's very nice.
And it that's where they would do a lot of their training there at Tropical Park.
It's blue. The track is blue, and it's really significant. If you've ever had any interest in running or just seeing how it's done, that's a good place to go. All right.
And now that the school year is coming up, great high school football games are hosted there as well. So
and the horse and cattle show will be back next year, hopefully. All right. And there's people from all across the world, mostly
the agricultural.
Yes, horse, cattle, and agriculture show. They added that on for the people.
Something for everyone.
There is. And so whenever I go there, I take pictures. I tell my wife, Susan, I'm coming home with this guy and this guy and this guy. She said, don't come home if you have those. But it's really, when you go there and you can see the cows and you can see the horses and you see the people are very involved in it. And the county's really behind that and pushing that. It's really significant for us here in Miami-Dade County. We have quarantine stations. A lot of these animals that go into South America come in and out of Miami International. We have quarantine stations down here that they sit in there for a month or a week or whatever and make sure they don't have any diseases. And it's really significant. And in vitro fertilization, and you get to meet all those people that you were doing business with all year long. And you see some of these cows, some of these guys are big cattle, all right? And you look at them and say, holy moly. And you see these little kids, 6, 7, 8 years old with a big hat, all right? Those big boots and hauling that.
And also sharing those family traditions as well internationally. It's such a great event. And then when you think of Tropical Park, you mentioned the cultural center, the agricultural fair, hopefully we'll be ramping that up soon. But you have the dog park. You have the lakes that are stocked to encourage fishing. In fact, in September, we are hosting a free fishing event there called Vamos a Pescar. And in September, when I'm back next Monday here coming soon, I'm going to share a little bit of the Vamos a Pescar event that's taking place there at Tropical. But you have the track, you have the open spaces, you have the 4 softball fields that were recently renovated by our Miami Marlins. You have the soccer 5. I mean, you have something for everyone. You have a natural area. I'm not sure if you know this, but there are paved trails through a pineland forest there at Tropical Park.
Very nice, because you go from this busy place to like, wow, I got all these pine trees around me. And by the way, for the young people at heart, they can run up that hill that's on the south, right on the southwest corner. I remember when I used to be able to do that.
Yeah, all the high schoolers use it. I know that the running clubs here in Miami use it as well. Let's not forget the boxing center,
Yes.
the tennis, the basketball courts that are there, and the wonderful pavilion. So Tropical Park is definitely a gem in that Westchester community.
And right now, you can get tested for COVID there. You can get your shots, your injections.
You
right?
can as well.
And we're pleased. We hope sooner or later that won't be needed anywhere. But in the meanwhile, people can go there. Or, by the way, at the Metro Zoo, Zoo Miami, you can go down there. No appointment necessary. The last time I checked, but they make you fill out the digital
questionnaire.
The questionnaire, why you're there, and
Yep.
it's pretty effective. And they've learned how to handle the people. I would suggest you don't do it on the weekends. Do it midday, all right, so you can get your stuff done. So
I want to circle back, if we can, to the National Wellness Month. And Tommy, if you have an opportunity, the video just to share some of those great activities that you could do at Miami-Dade County Parks for your wellness. And of course, wellness really depends on self-care, creating healthy habits. Right now, I have my Fit Watch. I try to walk 8,000 steps a day. And let's check this out. Just a reminder of how you could continue National Wellness Month with Miami-Dade County Parks.
And where's that? Okay.
It's a really short video, but really shares all the great wellness opportunities that Miami-Dade County Park offers, not only for humans, but for also our furry friends. Thank you, Tommy. Appreciate you. You were asking, where's that? That's
Yes.
out at Reynolds.
Oh, I thought I recognized that.
That's out at Reynolds.
So my compliments to the county for creating these videos, because people, I think, want to have a little teaser in the sense, what does it look like? What does it feel like? Oh, look at those activities. And it was great. All different big kids and little kids and puppies.
We do. We have water-based. We have aquatic-based programming. We have adaptive sports as well. So Miami-Dade County Parks really celebrating National Wellness Month. And we have something for everyone, whether it's through programming or at your leisure as well.
What else are we doing here today?
Well, I just want to remind everyone that we have great activities, events coming up. So make sure that you create your Park Link account. Very simple. You could add your family members on there as well. And Tommy, if we have that screenshot, I want to share, Michael, the county website offers an activity page where you could see all the offerings that we have, from archery to walking to trails. So this month, you have an opportunity to visit the Miami-Dade.gov site and actually search up some recreational activities that could take place in your area.
I see up there now, there's shooting. Is that the county range on Chrome?
We do. Yep. We have a trail range out there.
And for the minimal hobbyists, well, occasionally I used to go out there. I would be in the 30% range of getting the ski. I have a friend that does 96 and 98 all the time. And apparently that's not, the 96 is not good enough.
And that's tough. That's a tough sport.
Yes.
I also want to share, I know that a lot of teachers are heading into work. In fact, I believe the Archdiocese went back to school today. And teachers are looking at what to do. So I wanted to share that Miami-Dade County Parks is now offering a field trip program packet. I know we are still waiting on our Miami-Dade County schools to see what the year is going to look like. But if you're looking for field trip program opportunities, Miami-Dade County Parks, through your Miami Eco Adventures, has a field trip packet guide for you. So if you're interested in that, please contact Miami Eco Adventures and we'll get that packet out to you.
And there's no question, for most people, when they get around green things, you feel better.
You feel good. You feel great around green.
Yes. And nothing's better for people like myself to smell the lawn that was just cut, and the rain comes by and then you can smell it. So when folks are looking to get de-stressed after their busy week, or now that the sun is around till about 8 o'clock, and what time do most of the parks close?
We are open sunrise to sunset.
So you have plenty of time after work to take the kiddies over there, or your wife, or your husband, or whoever, right? And just walk around and feel the goodness that is available to everybody.
Always make sure to check our website to make sure if a particular park does have a change in hours. As you know, Daring Estate and Zoo Miami is one of our top attractions. And of course, Conservation Stewart Facilities, they do have operation hours. So check in with those sites.
So Fanny, somebody could go to miamidade.gov or they could go to parklink.
Yep, Parklink. And you could
Parklink.
also access that through the county website
Okay.
as well.
And by the way, in case you forget, on Bird Road, I remember seeing one of those big billboards over there. Great publicity.
Yeah, I don't know if
Congratulations.
we have that screenshot available just to give you a visual, just to give you a quick reminder that you could find your adventure at Parklink with miamidade.gov/parks, events, programming, and of course, I'll be back soon on a quick Monday to talk about our after-school programs.
Terrific. Fanny Navarro from Miami-Dade County, the Special Projects Administrator. Thank you very much for being here. God bless you, and we're glad you're here.
Well, stay well on this
Okay.
great National Wellness Month and find a park near you and start your healthy habits with us.
Have a great day, folks.